Successful men are always surrounded by pretty women who try to please them. Few people can resist the seduction, but Derek, who has a successful career, is an exception. He believes that his wife and children are the most important people. The new secretary at his company has put his happy family of 3 in crisis. Derek and his wife Sharon are the envy of everyone. Married life has not made them hysterical. On the contrary, they have become more compatible with each other. As life got better and better, they also moved into a new house. Derek rushes to work after finishing his work at home. In the elevator, Derek reads the newspaper intently. The woman next to him smiles and talks to him. Both of them go to the 22nd floor. Maybe they are in the same company. Lisa is a temporary employee hired by the company. Derek smiles when he sees she's new and responds. Suddenly, the file in her arms falls to the ground. Lisa squatted down and could see her intimacy through her skirt. Derek turned his head in embarrassment, and then he helped her as a gentleman. Such action instantly won the woman's heart. Lisa realized when she got to the office, this handsome and funny man was her boss. When the male assistant saw her obsession, he reminded her that Derek was married. Lisa sighed that the good man was already taken away by others, but she still browses frantically for information about Derek. Derek came home on time after work in order to let his wife rest. He took the initiative to hold the baby. Late at night, in the quiet, he would also say sweet things to Sharon. The couple enjoyed a rare moment of relaxation. It wasn't long before Derek's male secretary was out of work due to illness. Lisa seized the opportunity to take over the position of substitute assistant. Derek was a little uncomfortable at first because he had always worked with male assistants before. But Lisa wasn't an eye candy either. She's organized and efficient. The coffee she prepared was also to Derek's liking. After a few days together, Derek admired her ability to work, but Lisa's goal wasn't to be a secretarial assistant. What she wanted was a good man like Derek, especially when she knew that Derek would send a bouquet of flowers to his wife every day. She was jealous to the extreme. She also used her position to eavesdrop on the couple's conversations. She even hung up on Sharon's phone calls on purpose. A woman's intuition is always accurate. Sharon felt something strange. At night, when she was taking a break, she asked her husband why he didn't answer the phone. Derek didn't know anything about it. He thought it was the new secretary who didn't know what was going on. Sharon was about to get angry. Derek rushed to explain that it was just a temporary employee. It turns out he and his wife had a deal. He could only hire male secretaries at work. Because Sharon was a female assistant before, she understood that it was easy to have problems with men and women together. Sharon was smart enough not to make a fuss. She thought she should meet the new female secretary. So the next morning, she came to the office with her children. Lisa outwardly respects her and complimented the child on how handsome he looked like Derek. The meaning of her words was clear. Sharon, not to be outdone, smiled back and said, "It must be hard for you to work here. Good thing you're only a temporary employee." Derek understood what his wife meant. He promised the male assistant would be back soon, and he would let Lisa go. Of course, that was just Derek's idea. Sharon had a winning smile on her face. The male assistant, who had taken a leave of absence, soon returned. But Lisa still hadn't left the office. She greeted Derek with a smile. Another employee had called in sick, so she had to stay a little longer. Derek didn't care. He wasn't going to cheat on his wife anyway. So when he saw Lisa, who was crying in the pantry, he even offered to comfort her. Lisa cried about how she was always hurt by bad men. Derek, in order to care for the health of his employees, he said that a capable and beautiful woman like Lisa will surely meet a good man. "If I were single, I'd be attracted to you too." Lisa laughed when she heard this. Derek's comfort was taken as some kind of hint by her. Not long after that, the company had an important holiday. It was customary to have a party on this day. In order to have a good time, all employees are not allowed to bring their families. Since the party started, Lisa hasn't taken her eyes off Derek. Lisa couldn't hold back her excitement to get close to Derek. She verbally teased Derek and plied him with alcohol. She boldly asked him to kiss her. Derek hastily refused and hid in the bathroom. However, Lisa barged into the bathroom as well. Lisa hugged Derek directly. She tries to pull his clothes off. Derek threw her away. He scolded the slutty woman. Then he walked out of the bathroom in a rage. A disheveled Lisa didn't understand what she had done wrong. The look on her face made people think she was the one being harassed. The next day at work, Derek looked around warily for fear of meeting Lisa, but Lisa greeted him as she always did. She looked as calm as if nothing had happened. Derek's mental strength was not so strong. He avoided Lisa at all times. He couldn't even look her in the eye. He dawdled at the end of his shift until Lisa left first. Derek walked slowly into the garage. He was about to drive when Lisa suddenly got into his car too. Derek was still thinking about what had happened before and didn't say anything. Lisa apologized for her behavior. Maybe she was too reckless that day. The expressionless man finally smiled at that moment, but just as he was about to look up and make amends, the woman next to him unzips her shirt. Instead of restraining herself, Lisa acted even more slutty. Derek, who had been silent, finally exploded. He thinks Lisa is unbelievable. The angry man threw Lisa out of the car. When he got home, he felt the need to tell his wife about the incident. After all, couples need to be honest with each other. But before he could say anything, Sharon talked about her friend's husband cheating on her. He looked at his wife's disgusted look. He lost the courage to tell the truth again. But keeping Lisa with him was always a risk. That crazy woman was like a bomb that could go off at any moment. Derek had to talk to his friend Ben. He said he wanted to fire Lisa. Ben didn't approve of the idea. No one would believe that a beautiful female secretary would harass her male boss. On the contrary, people are more likely to think that the boss is harassing the female assistant. Derek understood that, too, but he couldn't just sit there and do nothing. He went to the HR manager's office anyway, but as soon as he said Lisa's name, the manager smiled broadly and said, "If you're here to complain about her, then please go back," because Lisa had already resigned. So Derek finally smiled. He finally got rid of the almost morbid woman. Life seemed to be getting back on track. Derek was still the good family man, but an even bigger crisis was looming on the horizon. Soon the company needed to meet at the resort. The male colleagues have nothing better to do than to get together and drink. Derek left because of a phone call from Sharon. He found a secluded place, but no sooner had he said a few words than he saw a familiar figure. Lisa in red is sexy and charming. The men were crazy about her, except for Derek. In his eyes, this woman is sick. Lisa thinks she was rejected because Derek didn't want it to interfere with his work. But now they're not in the same company, so they can do whatever they want. Derek clearly says he has a family. He can't accept another woman. Lisa automatically ignores the rejection. She secretly put drugs in Derek's drink. After drinking the wine, the man felt like he was spinning. He was sent to his room and fell on the bed. In a daze, he saw Lisa pushing the door. He then lost consciousness. When Derek woke up again, he was the only one left in the room. Derek thought it was a hallucination from drinking and didn't think anything of it. In the morning, he attended his company meeting as usual, only it didn't take long for the hotel clerk to tell him that Sharon had been waiting outside for a long time. So he quickly walked out of the meeting room, but at the door stood Lisa, who wouldn't give up. The man on the verge of a breakdown asks her what she wants. There's no way anything can happen between them. Lisa brings up the promise he made before. Derek explains that it was just a reassurance from boss to his subordinate. If she keeps pestering, then he'll call the police. Lisa is devastated by the man's callousness. Depressed, Derek can only drink his sorrows away. He only hopes that the warning will work. But that's obviously unlikely, because when he returned to his room at night, Lisa was in his bed again. Angry, he pushes the lying woman away, but Lisa had taken pills to kill herself and was in danger. Derek rushed to call the emergency services. His co-workers didn't understand the reason. All they knew was that there was a woman hiding in his room. Meanwhile, Sharon was worried because she couldn't reach her husband. Then she finally got word from Ben. She rushed to the hospital all night fearing that something had happened to Derek. She happened to run into the police, who came to investigate the case. Derek told the whole story in front of his wife. He also insisted that he had never done anything wrong. But no one could easily believe that. After all, Lisa took the pills in his bed to kill herself. Sharon then realized what had happened. She felt she had been lied to. When they got home, a fight broke out. It was the biggest crisis they'd had since they got married. Sharon couldn't forgive her husband. Then she kicked him out of the house. They both needed time to calm down. And Lisa was like a crazy person who couldn't stop thinking about it. She was completely absorbed in her own world. When the police came to take a statement, she pretended to be innocent and said that Derek loved her. It's just that his wife won't give up on him. She also produced the diary that proved everything. The police had to confront Derek with the diary. Derek was just baffled because the events in the diary never happened. Lisa made it all up. She must have a mental illness. For the safety of herself and her family, Derek tried to get a protection order, but the police said Lisa had already left for another city. Derek then felt relieved. In the days that followed, Sharon still wouldn't let her husband in the house, although she believed in Derek's integrity. But he did lie to her. Until Derek's birthday, she agreed to go out to dinner. At the dinner table, the couple cleared up their misunderstanding. But Lisa found their child and lied that she was a friend of Sharon's. She'd been asked to drop off a few things. The babysitter took her at face value and let her go upstairs. Lisa looks at the baby with a grimace. and Sharon and Derek came home to find the baby missing. The babysitter said a woman had come by. Derek knew it had to be Lisa. He rushed to the car to catch up with her, but his baby was sitting in a car intact. The couple rushed him to the hospital for a checkup. Luckily, he wasn't hurt, but it wasn't as simple as it seemed. After returning from the hospital, they found their home in a mess. They didn't have to think about it to know who did it. To protect the family, Derek installed an alarm system in the house. A few days later, Sharon went out on an errand. She was halfway to the house when she remembered that the alarm system had not been turned on. She rushed back the way she came. Just as Sharon reached the door, she heard a noise upstairs. It was Lisa, who had slept in again. She was lying comfortably in bed in her pajamas and said, with a little provocation, that Derek loved her most. Sharon thought this woman was crazy, so she tried to call the police. Lisa hurriedly stopped her. The two women, who had long held a grudge, instantly fought with each other. At that moment, the phone rang. It was Derek calling. Lisa picked up the phone before she could say anything. Sharon knocked her to the ground. Sharon told her husband not to worry about this side of things. She would take care of it in a minute. She then hung